Do you have Santa hat? No.
No.
Oh. We really should have tried harder with this video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Don't be fooled by the Christmas tree that was behind us and now isn't. We moved it, so this has become a lot less Christmassy than I anticipated, but the natural light comes from here, so we can't really film anywhere else unless I had a ring light, which I should probably look at getting. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. It is exactly 1 week to Christmas today, which is kind of crazy. December's gone by really, really quickly. So in the spirit of Christmas, we've decided to do a part 2 to the video that we did before, which was the December traditions. We're gonna do Christmas traditions between England and Canada. Now, as a lot of people commented, there are a lot of similarities, there are some differences, but I think across the world and across all different cultures, there's lots of similarities. So we're still gonna talk through them because in my opinion, we have different celebrations for Christmas. We have different things to do.
Can I have some eggnog?
Talking of Christmas traditions, yes, go get some eggnog. I don't know how anyone can like eggnog. It is not a nice... I'm not an eggnog fan, I have to say. It looks green to me. Let me smell it. Doesn't really smell of anything. This is actually the vegan, I want to try some, This is the vegan eggnog because, well, I don't drink milk and Mike doesn't really like milk, so I always get the vegan. It's like the oat eggnog.
Oatnog.
I'm gonna try it. Oh gosh, that's so thick and sweet.
Juice of gods.
It's like if you've ever had an egg custard tart, it tastes like that in a drink. I like egg custard tarts, but I don't like drinking egg custard tarts. I can imagine that would be a really nice ice cream flavor.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, and talking Christmas traditions, we should do our advent calendars. Mike has the Rogers one from Victoria.
What day is it today?
It's the
17th? No, 18th.
Oh, 18th. Do you just get the same ones every time?
More or less. They do give me rectangles occasionally, but it's been quite a few circles. Or
it's not really
cylinders.
A surprise.
What about you?
I get a surprise because I have my heroes one. Okay, what is it? 18th? 18th, right here. Oh, the best one! Okay, I said that the dairy milk is the best one, but this really is the best one. Whisper, my favorite. I'll save that for later.
I'm not saving it for later.
Okay, so it would start on like Christmas Eve, because in my opinion, Christmas Eve is the most magical night of the year. And when we were growing up, we would always leave out something for Santa. And I don't know if this is an English thing or if it's a my family thing, but we would leave a carrot for Rudolph, a mince pie, and a glass of brandy. We
would leave a glass of milk, cookies, and a carrot.
That's so American, milk and cookies.
At least
I don't know, like what came first? Like, do you guys leave brandy and mince pies, or do you leave cookies and milk? And if you do, wherever you're from, if it's something different as well, I'd love to know, like around the world, if people leave different things. But yeah, brandy and mince pies, milk and cookies. I think I would prefer the mince pie, to be honest. Personally, a cookie's not exactly Christmassy. Would it be a Christmassy cookie?
It'd be a Christmas cookie, a Christmas decorated cookie, yeah. Okay,
so for like the big day, for like Christmas Day, we would start the day usually. We would get up and then my family we always had stockings for the kids. So our stockings would be hung on our beds. And I remember because as a kid, I would always wake up in the middle of the night because you're so excited as a kid, right? Being Christmas. And I'd feel the stocking to see if it's full, because if the stocking was full, it meant that Santa had been. Obviously that was probably just, you know, well timed, so I didn't get up super early. But I remember waking up and then we would get our stockings, me and my brother, and we'd run into our parents' room and we would open up our little stocking gifts, and they'd be just like little toys and like sweets and things. And then we would go into the living room and there would be, under the tree, there would be kind of gifts for family that were from family members. And then right by the window, there'd be 2 piles of presents. There'd be one for my brother and one for me, and they would be like from Santa. And obviously the mince pie and the brandy and the carrot had been like eaten, and there was always, we had Santa footprints going, like with the magic snow to the presents. So I remember my parents used to vacuum that up, and then we would have we would open Christmas gifts on Christmas Day, like morning. So, because I know not everybody does that. So the kids would open them first, and then we would open like the family gifts. Is that the same for you?
Kind of. I would keep my stocking beside my bed. I would usually, as a kid, I would wake up at about 7 in the morning, take my stocking down to the living room
for Christmas.
Or my stocking would be, there was a couple years I did it by the bed. There were a couple years it would just be like on the couch in the living room. I'd go down at about 6:30 or 7, do the stockings, and then like my grandma would come in, the rest of my family would come in. We would just do gifts. When I was older, like into my 20s, that kind of changed. We'd sleep in until about 10. Then we'd have breakfast, and then we would end up doing gifts in the afternoon. So it kind of flipped. The schedule kind of flipped. And then we would have dinner.
Kind of like how we did it when I was at your parents' house. Yeah, because you still had stockings, because we kind of stopped doing stockings as we got older. But you still had stockings, but they were kind of different. We always had them, we had wrapped up gifts in our stockings, but you always had like very similar things. Like what was in your stocking?
Mine would be like chocolates, apples. There were walnuts in there in the shell.
Always the red apples.
Toothbrushes, like razors, lottery tickets, like just like small kind of unwrapped things. Mostly edible things.
Was it whole walnuts?
Gift cards occasionally. Yeah, like whole walnuts at the very bottom of the stocking. Yeah. It's always an orange and always an apple.
Yeah, but it was always the apple that nobody liked, the red ones.
The red delicious.
The worst apple. Why would... Actually, unless you get those super fresh, if you pick them off the tree, which I learned when I lived in Ontario, if you get them straight off the tree when they're like crunchy still, they're actually really good. I've only disliked them because I always thought that they were mushy and gross, and that's just because they've been like, they're too ripe. So learning something new every day. Okay, so after gift giving, it would be the Christmas meal. We would always have, I think it's probably very similar like everywhere, but we'd have turkey. I don't ever remember having a full turkey. We used to get, I think they call them turkey crowns in the UK, where it's like just the breast meat. And I think it comes like stuffed, like it's stuffed and stuff. You can get it from the butchers and stuff. We would have roast potatoes. We would have, I think we had cauliflower cheese. Always had sprouts, which nobody ever ate. Pigs in blankets. I don't ever remember having Yorkshire puddings at Christmas. That was more of a roast dinner, like normal Sunday thing. What else did we have? Oh, we had mashed swede. Loved that, like carrot swede mash. We had parsnips, gravy, obviously. We always had a starter as well, especially when we had our big family Christmases. We'd have prawn cocktail as a starter, which I always loved. So we had the starter, we had the roast dinner, and then for dessert, we always had Christmas pudding, and we pulled it out and you lit it on fire and you had it with brandy sauce. And we always had crackers too, because crackers is an English thing, and I didn't realize that was until I came here. So you'd pull the crackers first. I think I've done that whole dinner thing backwards. You'd pull your crackers like as soon as you got sat down, and then you'd have like your starter, your main, your dessert. And then later on in the night, we always had a cheese board that would come out with like the Jacob's cracker tin, and then cheeses and things. So yeah, that's how it's always panned out. We never had like a Christmas breakfast though. We also had like a tin of roses or Quality Street always, like by the tree. That was one of the things that my grandma always used to get everybody. She would buy a tin of roses or Quality Street for everyone, and we would all have them around the tree. So you'd have them like all scattered around the house on Christmas Day. Yeah.
We would have breakfast in the morning. It was like this bread, cheese, ham thing with maple syrup, which I think we talked about before.
We did. It's so heavy.
Super
But it's
heavy.
actually quite good. But I feel like it's just a lot for like a Christmas breakfast.
It was great. That and coffee. And then in the afternoon, we'd always have dinner early at like 4 or 5 o'clock. And it would be
I think most people do.
full
So
turkey.
Christmas lunch.
Yeah, I mean, classic Christmas stuff though. Full turkey, potatoes.
You have sweet potato.
Sweet potato. Sweet.
You have turnip, but it was cooked differently. We always have mashed turnip, but yours turnip was like cubed and boiled or steamed.
I think that was just the way my mom made it. Stuffing. Ham.
I forgot about the stuffing.
Yeah.
The stuffing is different between England and Canada. This is one of the biggest differences. Stuffing in Canada is really weird. It's like cubed bread with sausage meat. I think you put it in the turkey sometimes, but you also had it on the side. And it was like, it wasn't like, it didn't stick together. It was just kind of there. Whereas in England, you usually get them in balls. Well, you can bake it in a tray, but usually that's stuffing balls, and it's very kind of like dense. It's like sage and onion, I think, is a really typical one. Sorry, I totally cut into your Christmas dinner? Like, what else? Carrots?
Vegetables. Yeah, so like roasted carrots, Brussels sprouts, that sort of thing.
Brussels sprouts with bacon usually, I think. That's like a...
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah. We would just have normal Brussels.
Yeah, and that's really it. I mean,
what
just
about
kind of like
dessert?
big roast dinner stuff. Dessert, we'd always have my mom's baking, which was just open and available. And
like,
then we'd
what
have...
was that, though?
Just like cookies, different types of cookies, shortbread, sugar
Oh,
cookies,
like a
cinnamon
board of
rolls.
different kind.
Yeah, just a board of different cookies. And then Christmas pudding.
Oh my gosh.
With a caramel sauce.
So 2 things. So Mike's family always had Christmas crackers because you have like some English ties in your family.
Yeah.
And they always had Christmas pudding because again, I think that's an English thing. But 2 very big differences. The first time, and I'm not even kidding, I wish I had a cracker here to show you how they did it. The first Christmas I ever spent with his family, they sat down for Christmas dinner, and you serve it different. You kind of like serve it as like a platter and then everyone grabs everything. But we sat down and everyone's like, okay, we're gonna pull the crackers. And his grandma picks up the cracker. They all did like this, but his grandma was the first time I ever saw this happen. She picked up the cracker like this and tried to pull it herself. No word of a lie. I was blown away, and they told me that they had always pulled a cracker that way. Like, have you ever seen on a Christmas like movie or an advert or something? And I was like, stop! I was absolutely like mortified. Like, well, we've always done it this way, and I was like, no, you're supposed to pull them with other people, so then you're supposed to like, you win. Like, whoever gets the biggest side wins. Yeah. So that was the year. They've only known for like 6 years now, but that was the year I taught them how to actually pull crackers. That was the first devastating thing. The second one was a Christmas pudding. So in England, we light it on fire. You pour brandy over it and you light it on fire and you serve it with brandy sauce, which is like the white sauce if you've never seen it. But here, your mum used to boil it. She never used to set it on fire. She just kind of like dished it out, the plastic dish that it usually comes in when you buy it, and put this like caramel sauce on it, which again, I was truly devastated by. Not to say it wasn't delicious. Nice. So obviously the first year I didn't tell them about like, setting it on fire because I didn't want to seem like a crazy person. But I think the year after that, I kind of like knew them well enough to be like, you're supposed to set the Christmas pudding on fire. So I remember like tipping it onto this plate and getting this lighter. His mum was like so afraid. Like I could see the fear in her eyes as I like approached this brandy laden pudding with this lighter, and she's just like, oh, you're not gonna set the house on fire. And she's like there ready with like a towel to put over it in case it all set alight. And anyway, I did it, and obviously it just does that nice little flame, and she was like thrilled by it. But yeah, I also made brandy sauce that year too. And they had their first brandy sauce experience, so just slowly correcting the strange things.
Here we are.
The strange traditions that you had. Oh, another thing on Christmas Day, what would always happen is if there was like a big show, I think usually Doctor Who was one of them, Downton Abbey always had them, but there'd be a Christmas Day special. So after dinner, everybody would sit down and there'd be a Christmas Day special. I remember, oh my gosh, the one that always hurts my heart, if you're a Downton Abbey fan, is the year that Matthew died. Like, why the producers decided to do that, and the writer, to like literally ruin everyone's Christmas by killing off Matthew. And I'm sorry if you've never seen Downton Abbey, I've just done a massive spoiler. Anyway, that was the most devastating Christmas I will never forget. I don't think I've actually watched a Christmas Day special since then because it affected me so badly. But yeah, do you have like anything special that you watch on Christmas Day?
Not that I can think of. No, not like a Christmas. I'm sure they exist, but we never really did. We just kind of hung out, and my grandma would always play the piano and stuff like that. Like, we were just... Aww. Yeah.
We had karaoke. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a tradition, but we always did that. We had karaoke.
It wasn't like a special or anything we put on.
Dancing. My family were quite the party goers, so that was a big difference. I think it depends on how big your family Christmas is in comparison to. Oh, another thing, kind of on the like I think we spoke about this briefly last time, is that on Christmas Day will be the day that we cut the Christmas cake. So if anyone could fit it in, usually they couldn't, but you're supposed to have Christmas cake with cheese. So like the cheese board later on in the evening. If people still wanted something sweet, you'd have Christmas cake. I don't think that's the same for you. I know that you had Christmas cake, but you'd never really have it as we also had Christmas cake as like an alternative dessert if someone didn't want Christmas pudding.
Yeah, we had fruitcake kicking around.
Not the same.
Not the same.
Oh my gosh, I saw, for the first time ever, I saw like a Christmas cake that I would know for sale at Thrifty Foods down the way. I don't think it had icing. I don't think it had marzipan on, but it had icing on. It was like a proper British style one. I'll insert the footage here because I filmed it. But right next to it was the Canadian version. So if you remember in the video last time, I was talking about the Canadian version of the fruit cake and how it had the weird colored cherries, and it was like totally different. So those two styles, but yeah, they're totally different. Okay, and then after Christmas, I guess like the Christmas festivities go on until Boxing Day. So for Boxing Day, whenever we woke up, we always had a fry up, and that consisted of like English bacon, like back bacon. Then we had eggs and beans and toast, and everybody would have that, or like, people would have like bacon sandwiches and things. Then we would get ready and everyone would go to the stores for Boxing Day sales. If you wanted to, like, well, I guess I say everybody, but not everybody did. So we would go, usually my uncle was like really big into sales, and I remember he used to take me on Boxing Day, and like especially to TK Maxx, which is like Winners in Canada, or TJ Maxx in the US, and they'd have like specific colors on the tags, and I remember him taking me around and like showing me what colors the tags meant and when to watch out for the best deals. But I remember doing the Boxing Day sales, and then also there'd be a big football game on that day. So my family, at least my dad's side of the family, are from Manchester, so there's like a straight split of Man United and Man City fans. So usually there'd be like a big match on the day. So my family would some of them would go watch it like live, and some of us would just stay and watch it at home. So yeah, there's always like a big Boxing Day match on. What would be like your boxing traditions? Because the interesting thing, I think Boxing Day is a stat holiday in most of Canada, but in BC it's not. Like, it is not a normal, like, it's just a normal working day, which blows my mind. Luckily we get it off, but it's not usually a holiday that you'd usually get. But did you have Boxing Day?
Really, it was just about sales. I would usually use that day to catch up with friends over the holiday. My parents didn't really do anything as far as like, it would just be like a day of leftovers from Christmas Day. Like, we didn't put on a separate thing or have like a separate party. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's the day that the International Junior Hockey Championships start, is the 26th. That was the 27th, leading up to New Year's. So a lot of people would be having parties at their house to watch that.
Did you say you did road hockey?
That was on Christmas Eve.
Oh, we missed that.
Road hockey game.
That's so fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Just in the afternoon, we'd throw a bunch of beer like in the snow, and then just get the whole neighborhood out. Always
a white Christmas. That's the different thing.
Yeah.
You always had a white Christmas. We never had a white Christmas. I think after that we would always go. We'd never have leftovers on Boxing Day. My aunt always used to put out like a cold spread of like baps, like sandwiches and like cold meats and salads and things like that. And you just have leftovers from Christmas Day. We just have like sandwiches, like the Boxing Day sandwiches, like the turkey and stuffing and the cranberry sauce.
Yeah, it would just be making a sandwich out of whatever you could find that was left over in the
Your cranberry sauce is different too, because your mum used to make it fresh, whereas we used to get like, it was like jam in it or jelly in it.
Oh yeah, we used to have that. We've had that before. But I think in recent years she used to make it with real cranberries. Actually stew them. Yeah.
I have to say the British stuffing is much better in sandwiches. Your stuffing doesn't work because one, it doesn't stick together, and two, most of it's bread anyway. So it's like bread, meat, bread. Yeah. And then like if you had like the fresh cranberry sauce, which was really, really good, but it was like whole cranberries and like liquid. So the liquid would just seep through the bread, and it would just be like cranberries. So I think our version of the Boxing Day sandwich is probably just a little bit better. Anyway, I think that was it for the Christmas day. Oh, this has got me feeling really, really festive. Talking about roses, I just went and bought these yesterday because I can't not have Christmas without these. It always reminds me of my grandma, and she always used to buy us a tin of roses, and roses were her favourite flower, so I always buy a tub of roses regardless of where I am at the Christmas time. I obviously had to buy this from the British store. I don't even want to say how much this was. In the UK, you can get these for like £6.
Wow.
But honestly, for the happiness that it brings, totally worth it. So they're ready for Christmas Day. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video and it's got you feeling festive. I know that doesn't look very festive. I mean, I have like the festive lips that I tried with. I don't usually wear, or I don't usually.
Wearing green.
I haven't worn red lipstick for ages, so I feel like I'm not very good at it. But yeah, I was trying to be festive. So I hope this got you in the festive spirit and you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I post videos every single week, usually about life abroad and living in Canada and BC and things like that, travel related stuff. So if you're interested, be sure to check out the rest of my channel. If you have any other traditions that you do with your family, regardless of where you are in the world, it doesn't have to be English or Canada, I would love to know. It's one of my most favorite things is to learn about different cultures around the world. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, your holiday traditions, anything that you do around this time of year will be so much fun to hear. This is going to be the last video before Christmas, so I really hope you have the most wonderful holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any other of those holidays. And until my next video, I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!
Should old acquaintance be forgot?